And that's how these globalists roll. They hide behind new jobs and the safety of humanity while they crush humanity, while they attempt to control humanity even further. Still doubt that global warming is a farce? This one's out of MSNBC. Earth's upper atmosphere cooling dramatically. See, then they try to spin it in the subheadline, new observations may help detect changes from carbon dioxide increases. But that's the entire mention of carbon dioxide in this article. No, this guy's talking about the solar cycle. When the sun is relatively inactive, as it has been in recent years, the outermost layer of the Earth's atmosphere cools dramatically. New observations find the results could help scientists better understand the swelling and shrinking of our planet's atmosphere, a phenomenon that affects the orbits of satellites and space junk. The data from NASA's timed mission show that Earth's atmosphere, the layer above 62 miles or 100 kilometers above the Earth's surface, responds quite dramatically to the effects of an 11-year solar cycle. You see, the sun has cycles in which it gets cooler and hotter, and it has larger and smaller solar flares. You know, it drives me nuts. I listen to a lot of garbage radio. I listen to a lot of Howard Stern. And Stern is harping on this, climate change conference in Copenhagen and saying we have to do this and we have to do that and it's the greatest thing ever and the ice caps in Bolivia are melting and the people in Bolivia are going to basically not have any water and there's going to be incredible drought and people are going to die. No, that happens when we send Bechtel into third world nations to take over and privatize a nation's water supply. That's when they starve. That's when they don't have water. It's all a scam. And then one of his underlings comes on and starts saying, hey, well, why isn't it if the sun gets hotter? The sun doesn't get hotter. Just in line with that United Nations propaganda and garbage. El Garbajo, my friends. The sun's heat doesn't affect the Earth's heat. Are you out of your mind right now? There is a huge, and I mean a huge snowstorm going on the East Coast. Covered New York City. Covered D.C. I guess it must be imaginary. I watched The Simpsons last week. And, Lisa, who's supposed to be the uber smart person, is defending global warming to Homer, who we all know is the idiot of humanity. He's about the dumbest character on television, maybe superseded by Peter Griffin on The Family Guy. Only cartoons could be this dumb. And he's the one telling the truth about global warming, saying, oh, it's snowing. He's like, oh, global warming's coming to get me. And then Lisa gives that UN tagline, global warming causes sporadic changes of extremes on both sides of the weather. Falling for the propaganda. So then they make the crazy person on the show seem wrong, and of course Lisa has to be right. Total propaganda. Read the emails. Look at the science. Check out the Great Global Warming Swindle. It is so important that you do your own research. Right here, I've got these 8 things that you can do to stop global warming. And, it goes from adding sulfate to the atmosphere, which is totally and completely ludicrous, to give the earth some shades, plant artificial forests and trees. But here's the one that will interest most of you. Reflect solar energy with clouds. Because white clouds reflect the sun's energy, some scientists reason that the planet's temperature can be cooled by creating more highly reflective clouds over the oceans. This can be accomplished by seeding the skies with so-called cloud condensation nuclei. Tiny bits of seawater make great seeds, according to John Latham, a proponent for the idea of the National Center of Atmospheric Research in Boulder, Colorado. He envisions fleets of remotely operated sailing vessels that continuously fill the skies with, quote-unquote, they call it sea spray, and form bright white clouds as a result. Hurdles facing the concept include the cost of building the sailing ships. Not really. Seeing we see planes doing this day in and day out all over the country. Of course, they're not using salt water. They're not using seawater at all. When you look at what they're using heavy metal particulates, such as barium and aluminum oxide. Again, that's the reality. They're not intending to spray seawater into the air to save us all. They're going to put heavy metals into the sky, and they are.
Fast progress.
And John P. Holdren, the author of Ecoscience, puts out a bulletin stating this about 8 or 9 months ago, people are in an uproar. They're saying, oh, wait, I didn't think this technology existed, and they retract their statement. We're going to come back. We're going to take your calls. The InfoWarrior with Jason Bermas, PrisonPlanet.tv, Infowars.com. I want to wrap up everything Copenhagen. We're going to take your calls coming up in the next segment. 888-201-2244. That's 888-201-2244. Or call 512-646-1776. Now, again, I want to make the point that when the establishment talks about a new world order, especially in conjunction with things like the Copenhagen Climate Summit and the G20, and they were all over the place, that's okay. That's good. Then the new world order exists. Prior to the Climate Change Summit, I've got this one headline right over here. A new world order, automakers and Copenhagen. As world leaders meet in Copenhagen to seek consensus on ways to reduce carbon emissions, the world's automakers are on a doorstep of revolutionary change. So again, when they discuss it as the evolution of really a global order with global control over even the environment we live in, that's okay. Now, when I come on the air and I point out that they're calling for a new world order, I point out that the headline, I mean, this is a headline from 3 days ago, folks. In a new world order, sterling should suffer. That's Wall Street Journal talking about the Dubai situation. And when the headline today out of the Washington Post is Copenhagen climate deal shows new world order may be led by U.S. and China, you better take note. Do you want Chinese policy coming to these shores? Do you want someone saying, yes, you're allowed to have 2.2 children, and then you're going to have to purchase other credits through our system to have that third child? And if you don't, it will be forcibly aborted, or you're going to pay an exorbitant amount in taxes. They're trying to tax people's dogs at this point. They're setting your kids up to be climate cops. And if you thought that Schwarzenegger had faded into the background, if you thought we've defeated him for the last time and stopped him from a presidential run, think again. This guy went to the Copenhagen Climate Summit, okay? And what did he call for? It's right here. He called for a planetary transformation. This guy has openly stated he wants to be the ruler of the world, that he's had dreams of being a dictator like Hitler. He's in it for the long haul. This guy is ready to take a Reagan-type presidency where an aged actor takes office. That's what he's positioning himself as. That's why he's hanging out with people like Karl Rove and Lord de Rothschild. Just type in their names. You'll see they're cronies. They're buddies. He's their front man. He works for them. He's part of the establishment. The governor of California said an international agreement at Copenhagen will usher in a new era of renewable energy and economic growth through manufacturing green technology. Folks, once again, if this was about manufacturing, quote-unquote, green technology, we would have the electric car en masse by now that was manufactured in the late 80s to the tune of 80 miles per charge. Do you realize that is now 20 years ago? We are on the cusp of 2010. Get a grip. I hold an iPhone in my hand that can connect to the internet anywhere and download information like that. These are the times we actually live in. For them to proselytize and say that we don't have green renewable energy sources is a lie. They don't want you hooked into solar. They want to control the grid. They want to charge exorbitant prices for energy. They don't want you to be independent of the system. They don't want you to be able to grow your own fruits and vegetables, to raise livestock on your land. They want you in the FEMA food line. That's what they want. All right, we're going to take our first caller, 888-201-2244. That's 888-201-2244 or 512-646-1776. Let's go to Mark in Georgia. Mark, you're on the line.
Hey, Brew, how you doing?
I'm all right.
By the way, you mentioned you're an agnostic. I don't know if you know this. I studied Greek when I was in seminary. Do you know that the word agnostic has the same root as the word ignorant, gnosis without knowledge.
Well, listen, when I say,
Anyway,
hold on, Mark, but when I say I'm kind of agnostic, I don't even necessarily take on the, I think that there's some kind of higher
I
power
got
out
you.
there. And I'm going to hold you over. I'm more of the ilk that I know that good and evil exist. I can see the broad spectrum out there. And to deny that evil has a great influence in this society, in the world, is ignorant. And to try to combat them, I think, is a noble and good thing and really something humanity should thrive on. But my religious views are neither here nor there. We're going to come back to Mark and Georgia and many more. It's the Info Warrior.